The most recent chapter of this bizarre and tragic story began with current Conservative Prime Minister Rishi Sunak announcing an early election while being drowned out by the pouring rain and a heckling mob.
Milestones in delivering that stability, showing that when we work together, anything is possible. Our economy is now growing faster than anyone predicted, outpacing Germany, France and the United States. And this morning it was confirmed that inflation is back to normal. This means that the pressure on prices will ease and mortgage rates will come down. This is proof that the plan and priorities I set out are working. I recognise that it has not always been easy. Some of you will only just be starting to feel the benefits, and for some, it might still be hard when you look at your bank balance.
Yes, that's Things Can Only Get Better playing in the background by Dee Ream. As if politics has evolved into its final form and finally transitioned into a living meme. If you're wondering where you've heard that before, it was used as Labor's campaign song in 1997 for Tony Blair.
But maybe you ain't never gonna feel this way. You ain't never gonna know me. But I know you.
Blair's campaign was remarkably effective, delivering a landslide election for Labor.
Now, as we fly around, watch the hits here clocking up in the little hit box. The first one we're going for is Plymouth Sutton, then Exeter, you can see just beyond it there. There goes Exeter. Here comes Portsmouth North, the most difficult of those targets to hit. You can just see Simon Hughes surviving in the middle of London, but surrounded by those great skyscrapers of red in London. So one Liberal Democrat survives, but otherwise just devastation everywhere, and huge Labour majorities building up where those powerful Tory majorities were before. Stirling in Scotland, Michael Forsyth's seat going up there, the last one.
The Labour Party candidate, 33,506.
They were called champagne socialists, but they're clearly very incompetent champagne socialists. Perhaps they're not really champagne socialists at heart at all.
The music might be the same, but the vibe of modern Labor under Keir Starmer is very different from Blair. Well, I mean, apart from the champagne socialist bit. Said Starmer, and I quote, "I would describe myself as a socialist. I describe myself as a progressive." And there you have it. Progressive politics, wokeism and socialism, they all the same toxic disease wearing different names. He's also a sellout to ideological, self-serving, unelected global bureaucracies.
Let us just ask you quickly, you have to choose now between Davos or Westminster?
Davos.
Why?
Because Westminster is too constrained. And, you know, it's closed and we're not having meaning. Once you get out of Westminster, whether it's Davos or anywhere else, you actually engage with people that you can see working with in the future. Westminster is just a tribal shouting place.
It's a similar vibe to Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, lusting after the dictatorship of Chinese Communist parties led by Xi Jinping. As Trudeau said, and I quote, "There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn around their economy on a dime and say, we need to go green, we need to start investing in solar." Yes, a communist dictatorship full of slave camps and the poorest people on earth sounds like a small price to pay for the green utopia of the elites. UK Labour, with a voting bloc riddled with Islamic extremism, ethnic separatists, anti-British activists, welfare dependents on both the foreign and the local type, and outright democracy-hating Marxists who want to see society fall to a dictatorship of the eco-fascists. This is the party of Labor today, and it is unrecognisable from Blair. The only way to appeal to a group of people who despise the UK and want to see it bled dry and abused is to offer the electorate bribes, and that is primarily what Labor will do as they march forward toward election victory. Now, I predict this will be the last victory for Labor, as the party is usurped by foreigners who put things like "Vote Green for Gaza" on their banners. The next major party in the UK will be the Party of the Middle East, where Brits who have for too long ignored their sacred duty of partaking in democracy will lose democracy altogether.
Raise the voice of Palestine! Allahu Akbar!
The Western Enlightenment will die from the heart, while the limbs of the empire are left to wither in the coming decades, Australia being one of them. When the call to prayer, Islamic prayer, echoes through the towns and villages of the formerly Christian nation, and English is no longer the dominant language in the halls of Parliament, it will signal the death of one of the greatest human civilizations ever built. What took thousands of years will have been destroyed in a few short decades by self-serving politicians who thought they could import the third world to fudge the numbers on their economic recklessness. That's it. That's the reason the West has to fall. Greed and bad accounting. But don't worry, we always have the defender of conservatism holding the line.